What's going on, true believers? Chris Mack coming at you with the hefty, beefy action figure review. Today we are going over the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Darkseid Justice League Snyder Cut Mega action figure. And this thing is amazing. I found this completely by chance. Again, I'm not a huge movie figure fan, but this one, it doesn't ravel the Storm Collectibles one, which we will eventually go over, but it was just too giant and awesome to pass up. So if you guys want to pick this up, I would say first and foremost, support your local comic shop, see if they have one in stock. If not, it is available on Big Bad Toy Store and Darkseid Toys. I got lucky. I went shopping for the little one and just kind of went at Target and kind of went by the action figure section, and I found this one. So I was like, mine! So as you can see, Darkseid here, cool multiverse there, Darkseid there, and then I like that they actually have the little Snyder Justice League logo there. Come around to the side, Darkseid, multiverse, McFarlane. Nice, really cool action figure product shot there. The Justice League and the figures from this way, which I'll make sure to get a close-up so you guys can look at it at your convenience. Come around to this side. Again, I'm glad when they put this like this so you can see what's on the side. Justice League logo, nothing on the bottom. Clear, fancy Justice League there on the top. So with all that said, is this a cool figure or not? Well, let's get the King, Emperor, whatever you want to call him, of Apokolips out of his packaging and get a closer look at him. And here's the ruler of Apokolips out of the packaging, and it's just massive, gorgeous looking figure. There are a few things that will drive me up the wall and frost me, but overall, as you can see, very beautiful colors, very well sculpted, looks almost like he did in the Snyder Cut. So let's go ahead and get this evil ruler off the stand and get a closer look at him. Backstory on Darkseid. He was created by Jack the King Kirby as part of the Fourth World Epic. You want to read more about that? You want to talk about New Genesis, the New Gods, Mr. Miracle, Darkseid, and Orion. Now, his real name, if I get this wrong, feel free to make fun of me down in the comments, but I believe his real name is Prince Uaxis, U-X-A-S. I cannot pronounce that to save my life. But out of the old gods, new gods were created. One lush, which is New Genesis, and one that was desolate, which was Apokolips. New Genesis had the life equation. Apokolips had the anti-life equation. Darkseid wants the anti-life equation because he wants to wipe out all life on this planet. The anti-life equation basically gives the user complete control over the thoughts and emotions of all living beings in the universe. His first cameo appearance was Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen in issue number 134 from November 1970. His full appearance was Forever People number 1 from February 1971. And the New Gods, Orion, and the battle with New Genesis and Apokolips is expounded upon in New Gods number 1. And of course, Darkseid has become the most prominent villain in the DC universe, predominantly in Superman, which is awesome. That's why I love Darkseid, because he's like this this malevolent, yeah, malicious. Not enough coffee. But yeah, he's just a force to be reckoned with. And this version, as we see here, is from the Snyder's Cut, which I'm so thankful that they put Darkseid in there. The way that he was able to just beat on people with some good stuff. Now, we went over the Snyder Cut in our After Dark review, so I'll leave a card somewhere up here. But let's talk about the accessories that this figure comes with. Of course, just like with every other DC character, he comes with stands, so these always help when you're putting them on a shelf. Comes with the trading card that we saw on the back of the box. Very excellent done photo there. I'll make sure to put the back up where you guys can read it at your convenience. The last thing that he does come with is this awesome staff, or axe if you want to call it, but it's an interesting piece. I love the gunmetal gray used on it. All the intricate lining and battle damage that you can see on it. All the chips showing that this thing has seen battle. The handle's gorgeous. Be careful in this thing. This piece right here is sharp as crap. I pulled it out and I was like, good God, that hurt. But just look at how intricate this thing is. I'm very impressed by this. I love when you can actually see battle damage. I like the way it refracts in the light. Grip looks good. Blade just looks amazing. I actually see like some burn damage on there. Just some good stuff all around. So beautiful piece. Those are the accessories he comes with. Now for Apokolips himself, let's talk about the paint apps. The one thing, the glaring thing about this figure that I don't like, because as I've said several times, I'm not a huge movie figure collector, but I like this one because even though it's the movie, he looks like Apokolips minus his regular armor. But I don't understand why they had to ingrain like the Omega symbol here in his chest. That weirded me out. I'm just like, okay. But overall, as you can see, the paint, the gray, goes all the way around. It doesn't really, like there's some dark gray dry brushing here, and it kind of leaks into the shoulder, to the back here. And just look at how hideous they made him look. McFarlane, when he does monsters, he knows how to do monsters right. Musculature looks great. I like, if I can actually, there we go. Those yellow eyes are just gorgeous. They reflect in the light. Just so good. Let me get a focus. But the way that they're pitted in that dark black wash in his eyes just works great. The blue all around his head looks good. I like the way it comes down his back, just looking kind of like an exoskeleton. So you get like all those little shingle looking effect there. The bracers, awesome. The skirt, for lack of a kilt, I guess, looks good. As you can see, it reflects nicely in the light, so you get a nice shimmer there all the way around. Looking good. Boots look awesome. So yeah, even though he doesn't have the armor from the comic version, I'm glad that both Scott Snyder and the animation department there at Warner Brothers and McFarlane here captured the lightness of what Apokolips is supposed to look like. Just overall, absolutely gorgeous figure. Believe it or not, this being a McFarlane figure, I'm not super irritated at the articulation for once. There are a couple of things, but overall, for a big, beefy dude, I am impressed. The part that kind of fails for me is the head, because you can see he doesn't really look up and down that well because of the shoulder pad here, so at least you can turn it side to side. I like that he has both a diaphragm and a waist pivot, so you can twist him up here and you can also twist him down here, so you can at least get a nice way to move him. Same thing here where you can double that down, get him down that far, double it back, get him that far back. Just watch out for the little gap there, so just mind that. Arms go out. This is what I was talking about. You just got to be careful with it. And it pops back in. Arms go out that far. Do spin 360. Does have the upper bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows. Now, look at this. No ball joints. It's like a ratchet, and you can move it up and down. They should learn and improve and expound upon that. Wrist does spin 360. Loving that. No ball joints. Thank God, no ball joints. Legs go out that far. Let me focus. Can't kick out about that far. And only about that far back, but he's a big guy, so what do you expect? Here's another surprise for you guys that I was really jumping for joy. Look at that. An upper thigh swivel. Yes! And a boot swivel. Oh my God. And then for Mr. Beefy, he does single jointed knees. That's all right. Of course, the toe pivot, foot go down, foot go up. foot no on a real ball joint. There's kind of a ball joint, but not like the irritating ones that we're used to with the McFarlane figures. And he does have a little bit of play, but not a lot of ankle pivot there. So guys, overall, even though we didn't get everything we wanted, like his leg does kind of have a ball joint on it, but not like the irritating ones like we saw on Dr. Fate. And I'm loving this hinge on the wrist instead of that stupid ball joint. And so as you can see, articulation, other than the head, overall, spot freaking on. Good job, McFarlane. Now, here's Darkseid, next to some fancy-ass figures. We first have the Sauron Build-A-Figure Wave X-Men's Deadpool, the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure Wave Wolverine. I love that figure. We have the Apokolips Build-A-Figure Wave Sabretooth, and then this big, beefy, hard-to-find Mamma Jamma. This is the Suicide Squad movies Collect to Connect King Shark. Now, the one that's still super elusive and I refuse to pay prices for would be the gold label one. And essentially, from what I've seen of photos, because it's like that rare unicorn, the only difference is he has different pins. That's it. And at this point, I'm just kind of like, no. But I just decided to throw all of these different size characters up so you can see the size comparisons. Darkseid and Nanaue sort of are on the same height. I think Darkseid's just a little bit bigger. Let me see if I can bring him forward without knocking everybody over. Yeah, he's a little bit bigger than Nanaue. Then I'd probably say the next biggest would be Sabretooth, Wade, and then Logan, because Logan, as I've always said in reviews, is the runt. But with that said, guys, you bring up your 7-inch multiverse figures like Superman, Batman. They're going to look awesome next to both these characters. You start throwing in Peacemaker, Bloodsport, Harley. It's going to be great, which I'm so still irritated that from this line we did not get a Rick Flag or a Rat Catcher. It's like, come on, Holmes. Hell, I'd even take an Amanda Waller just because. Now, I really do like the movie Darkseid one. As we talked about, there's a few things that just kind of chat my ass, but you put him up against other figures, and he just fits in so natural. You just kind of forget that it's a movie figure and that it's just some badass entity that you do not want to mess with. So let me know what you guys think in terms of scaling comparison. Are you guys going to do photographs with any of these figures? Are you going to put them on a shelf? Let me know down in the comments. As I've said, I'm not a huge fan of movie figures. I'd rather get stuff that is comic accurate. However, this figure was just too gorgeous to pass up. In terms of like the aesthetics of the movie, yeah, I didn't understand why they decided that the Omega beam, the Omega symbol needed to be carved into his chest. That just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So I'll let that one go. But I think what the shining part of this figure for me is this is a McFarlane. And there's no ball joints in the feet or hands. They're actually using the more ratchet effect. And it pays off. It makes them more stable. Those ball joints, especially on the Dr. Fate one, oh, it's going to just drive you bat guano crazy. This figure does not. On mine, as I said, the only thing that irritates me, and I've seen this online where people say, his arm pops out there. Thankfully, it goes back in with no problem. So if you think you broke it, just warm it up a little bit, shove it back in there, let it cool off. You're going to be good to go. So even though, as I said, this is a movie figure, this looks like Darkseid without his armor. I know there's an armored version. I'm not going to start going through variants. But this figure, I'm happy with it. Love it. Now I'm excited to go over the Storm's collectible one. So if you guys have enjoyed this action figure, please, first and foremost, check with your local comic shop and see if they have one in stock. If not, then you can check out the places that we talked about at the beginning of the review. If you've enjoyed the review, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you can possibly know. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little anti-life equation bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys will get notified. Come here to the fourth world, and we love hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, photo slideshow coming up next. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.